Good morning. Welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Thursday, July 21st, 2010. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London. In Beirut, it's 6:30 p.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL Instant Mail address is CATEX-TV. In 1977, on this day, a flash flood struck Johnstown, Pennsylvania, killing 80 people and causing $350 million in damage. Also on this date, 41 years ago today, Neil Armstrong first walked on the moon. Now to our main stories. First story coming from Russia. At least 2 people have been killed and several others wounded in an attack at a hydroelectric power plant in the North Caucasus region. The plant is owned by Rus Hydro. According to preliminary information, the company says a terrorist act was the cause of the explosion and of the following fire. The attack took place in the Kabardino-Balkaria section, one of the restive republics in Russia's Caucasus region. A spokesman for the republic said 2 cars carrying a half-dozen assailants attacked the power plant, killing 2 guards and wounding 3 others in gunfire. The attackers then set off explosives in several parts of the 25-megawatt plant. The spokesman said they mined the power plant's turbine room, blew up 2 turbines, and set the engine room on fire. It took almost 3 hours to contain the fire, and the plant is down. Also in Turkey, suspected members of the terrorist PKK party blew up a pipeline carrying natural gas from Iran to Turkey, forcing the shutdown of the conduit. The blast occurred just last night in a section of the pipeline near the eastern district of Agri province. It's about 2 miles from the Iranian border. TV footage showed a large blaze raging over the pipeline. Windows of nearby buildings were shattered. The explosion cut the flow of Iranian gas. However, the Turks are ruling out a supply shortage, saying that gas coming via pipelines from Russia and Azerbaijan are enough to meet the country's needs. They expect that the pipeline will be repaired sometime next week. And also in the Gulf of Mexico, the federal government's spill chief, former Coast Guard Admiral Thad Allen, says a relief well should finally reach BP's broken well this weekend. After several days of concern now about the stability of that cap, Thad Allen says that federal engineers have concluded that the risk of a bigger blowout is minimal. They've indicated that they are given the go-ahead to keep the well cap shut for at least 24 more hours and possibly longer. Meanwhile, a published report said that Tony Hayward, BP's CEO, plans to step down. The Times newspaper in London said that Hayward is likely to go by early September. In other BP news, they indicated that Apache Energy is going to buy properties in the U.S., Canada, and Egypt. The price is going to be about $4 billion, which is about the amount of money BP has already spent so far. BP said that the crews hope to drill sideways into the blowout well at the end of July, probably starting this weekend. The relief well then is going to be shot through with mud and concrete that hopefully will plug up the well. Over the fields of Kansas last night, a United Airlines 777 hit severe turbulence, injuring 30 people. Jolted one woman out of her seat so forcefully that she left a crack when she hit the side of the cabin. Here's what they flew through. Bring this up. You wouldn't want to fly through this weather. These 2 big red turbulent forms here. This is the 3rd incident for United this year when passengers were hurt because of turbulence. The flight originated at Dulles Airport by Washington, was headed to Los Angeles International. It finally did land at Denver at about 7:45 p.m. last night. 26 passengers and 4 crew were hurt. The plane was flying over Kansas at about 34,000 feet when it hit the heavy turbulence. Passengers said that one woman hit her head on the side of the cabin, leaving a crack above the window. A girl across the aisle from her flew into the air and hit the ceiling, hurting her neck. Wear your seatbelt. In Wales, in England, a fire was extinguished overnight at Murphy Oil Company's Milford Haven oil refinery. This is according to the Western Telegraph newspaper. The blaze broke out in a processing unit at about 18 minutes after midnight this morning. It was put out in a short time. The 108,000 barrel a day site was shut down earlier this year for maintenance. They had scheduled to have finished the work in the next week, and we're going to be expanding capacity up to 130,000 barrels. It's unknown whether or not the fire will affect that schedule. Stock market in New York is down about 20 points right now. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation. Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
Design for peace.
This is an interesting story. Pay close attention to this. An Aon insurance broker who dumped his laptop into a pond and the memory sticks, the little thumb drives, into a river in an attempt to hide his work for a rival company when he was on gardening leave, could be jailed. The man is Ewan Nicholson. He now heads Aon's upstream and offshore division. He left the rival Marsh last May. He was asked to take 6 months gardening leave before starting the new job. In the interim period, though, Marsh accused Mr. Nicholson of breaching the terms of his contract by helping Aon win a contract that Marsh had had with an Italian oil and gas contractor called Sapiem. Marsh then obtained a court ruling against Nicholson, ordering him not to, quote, destroy, tamper with, cancel, or part with possession, power, custody, or control of any personal computers, phones, personal data appliance, memory sticks, or hard drives in case they had been used to help Aon win the contract. Breaking the conditions could result in jail time. Despite this, Nicholson later admitted that he had thrown a laptop into a pond that was used to send and receive emails for Aon and for work on the Sapien project. He also admitted that the computer, which was later found, was used to stay in contact with 5 other Marsh colleagues who resigned at a similar time as he did and were all due to join him at Aon. Nicholson also discarded 3 or 4 USB storage devices in a river. Nicholson said he was attempting to protect Aon, his new employer, himself, and the team, admitting that he had been, quote, scared and under great pressure before apologizing for his conduct. The Daily Telegraph is reporting that Marsh said that the USB drives have still not been recovered from the river. However, the laptop has been recovered, but 40% of the data has been lost. A hearing later this year in front of Mr. Justice Aikenhead of the High Court of Justice will determine whether Mr. Nicholson is going to jail.